The 10 Money Habits of Financially Successful People. Welcome to Everyday 365 Smart Living. Money influences almost every aspect of our lives, yet financial education is one of the least taught life skills. Whether you are just beginning your financial journey, rebuilding after setbacks, or looking to strengthen the future you are creating. This documentary is designed to help you understand the timeless principles that have guided financially successful people across generations. Before we begin, please note that this documentary is intended for educational purposes only. The information presented is designed to improve financial understanding and should not be considered financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Every person's financial circumstances are unique, and important financial decisions should always be made after carefully considering your own situation. Where appropriate, consulting a qualified professional advisor. Our goal is not to tell you what to do with your money, but to help you think more clearly about it, make wiser decisions, and build habits that can serve you for a lifetime. Now, let us begin our journey towards financial freedom. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning without the constant worry of money. Imagine opening your banking app and knowing that your bills are covered, your savings are growing, your investments are working quietly in the background, and your future is no longer uncertain. Imagine making life decisions based on purpose rather than financial pressure. For millions of people around the world, this is not merely a dream. It is the result of consistent habits, disciplined thinking, and a commitment to learning the timeless principles of financial success. Money touches almost every aspect of our lives. It influences where we live, the opportunities available to our children, the healthcare we can access, the freedom to travel, the causes we can support, and the legacy we leave behind. Yet despite its importance, very few people receive a proper financial education. Many spend years studying mathematics, science, history, and literature, but graduate without understanding how to manage a budget, invest wisely, avoid unnecessary debt, or build long-term wealth. As a result, countless hardworking people find themselves trapped in a cycle of earning and spending. They work harder each year, receive promotions, increase their salaries, and yet somehow remain financially stressed. More income does not always create more wealth. Without the right habits, higher earnings often lead to higher spending, larger debts, and greater financial anxiety. This documentary is not about becoming rich overnight. It is not about risky investments, gambling on the latest trend, or chasing unrealistic promises of instant wealth. True financial success is built differently. It is built patiently, intentionally, and consistently. The people who achieve lasting financial freedom rarely rely on luck. They rely on habits that shape every financial decision they make. Throughout history, remarkable individuals from every continent, profession, and generation have demonstrated that wealth is not reserved for a privileged few. Teachers have become millionaires through disciplined investing. Factory workers have retired comfortably by saving consistently over decades. Entrepreneurs have transformed simple ideas into global businesses through perseverance and wise financial management. Families with modest incomes have built generational wealth by making thoughtful decisions year after year. Their stories remind us that financial success is less about where you begin and more about the choices you make every single day. Perhaps you have experienced financial setbacks. Maybe unexpected expenses have drained your savings. Perhaps debt has become a constant burden. Or you feel that no matter how hard you work, you are never quite able to move ahead. If that sounds familiar, know that you are not alone. Financial difficulties affect people from every background. They do not define your future unless you allow them to. One of the greatest misconceptions about wealth is that it begins with money. In reality, wealth begins with thinking. Every successful financial journey starts long before the first investment is made or the first business is launched. It starts with a decision. A decision to learn, a decision to become responsible. A decision to delay short-term pleasure in pursuit of long-term freedom. Think of financial freedom as building a magnificent cathedral. No one arrives on the first day and sees the completed masterpiece. They see foundations being laid, one stone at a time. Day after day, week after week, year after year, each small contribution becomes part of something extraordinary. Wealth works in exactly the same way. Every sensible purchase, every amount saved, every unnecessary expense avoided, every investment made with patience, and every lesson learned becomes another stone in the foundation of your financial future. There is an old proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The same is true for building wealth. Some people regret not saving earlier. Others wish they had invested when they were younger. Some wish they had avoided expensive mistakes or taken better advice. While we cannot change yesterday, we have complete control over the choices we make today. Imagine two people who begin their careers on the same day. They earn similar salaries, live in the same city, and face similar opportunities. 25 years later, one has accumulated significant wealth, enjoys financial security, and has the freedom to choose how they spend their time. The other continues to struggle financially despite earning a respectable income throughout their career. What created such different outcomes? In many cases, it was not intelligence. It was not luck. It was not even income. It was habits. The small decisions repeated every week eventually became dramatically different lives. Financially successful people understand something that many others overlook. Money is not simply earned. It is managed. Every pound, dollar, euro, yen, naira, rand, rupee, or peso has a purpose. They understand that wealth grows through stewardship rather than impulse. They recognize that every financial decision is either building their future or quietly undermining it. The encouraging news is that habits can be learned. They are not inherited. They are not determined by family background or educational qualifications. Like any valuable skill, they can be developed through practice, patience, and consistency. During this documentary, we will explore 10 habits that consistently appear in the lives of financially successful people across different cultures and generations. These principles have stood the test of time because they are grounded in discipline rather than fashion, wisdom rather than speculation, and long-term thinking rather than short-term excitement. You will discover why paying yourself first is one of the most powerful financial decisions you can make. You will learn why living below your means creates opportunities that excessive spending never can. We will explore the extraordinary force of compound growth, the importance of continuous learning, the wisdom of creating multiple streams of income, and the necessity of protecting the wealth you work so hard to build. Most importantly, you will see that financial freedom is not reserved for the wealthy. It is available to ordinary people willing to embrace extraordinary discipline. This is not a journey of perfection. Every successful investor has made mistakes. Every entrepreneur has experienced setbacks. Every financially secure family has faced unexpected challenges. Progress is never about avoiding every mistake. It is about learning from each one and continuing to move forward with greater wisdom. By the end of this documentary, you will not simply understand money more clearly. You will have a practical blueprint for changing the way you think about earning, spending, saving, investing, protecting, and sharing your resources. You will begin to see money not as something to fear or chase, but as a tool that can be directed towards creating security, opportunity, generosity, and lasting impact. Financial freedom is not measured solely by the size of your bank account. It is measured by the choices available to you. It is the freedom to support your family, contribute to your community, pursue meaningful work, and prepare confidently for the future. The journey begins with understanding one essential truth that changes everything. Income and wealth are not the same. Earning more money does not automatically make you wealthy. And true financial freedom requires far more than a high salary. Let us begin by exploring the hidden difference between income, wealth, and financial freedom, and why understanding this distinction is the foundation upon which every lasting fortune is built. The hidden difference between income, wealth, and financial freedom. If you ask 100 people what it means to be wealthy, you are likely to hear 100 different answers. Some will describe expensive homes overlooking the sea, Others will picture luxury cars, designer clothes, private jets, or holidays in exotic destinations. Many will simply think of a person who earns a very high salary. While these images are common, they often miss the deeper truth about what wealth really is. One of the greatest financial misunderstandings in modern society is the belief that income, wealth, and financial freedom are the same thing. Although they are connected, they represent three very different stages of financial life. Understanding the difference between them is one of the most important lessons anyone can learn. Let us begin with income. Income is simply the money you receive for your work, your business, your investments, or any other source of earnings. Whether you are paid weekly, monthly, or annually, your income represents the flow of money coming into your life. Income is important because it provides the resources needed to meet daily expenses. It pays for food, housing, clothing, education, healthcare, transport, and countless other necessities. Without income, it becomes difficult to build any financial foundation. However, income alone tells us very little about a person's financial health. Imagine two neighbors who each earn £100,000 a year. On paper, they appear equally successful. They drive similar cars, wear similar clothes, and live in similar houses. Yet beneath the surface, their financial lives could not be more different. The first neighbor spends almost everything they earn. Their mortgage stretches them to the limit. Their credit cards are nearly full. Every holiday is financed through borrowing. They have little savings and almost no investments. If they stopped working tomorrow, their lifestyle would begin to collapse within a few months. The second neighbor earns exactly the same income but lives differently. They save consistently. They invest regularly. They avoid unnecessary debt. They maintain an emergency fund and own assets that continue producing income, regardless of whether they go to work each morning. Although their incomes are identical, their financial futures are worlds apart. This simple example reveals an important truth. Income measures how much money comes into your life. It does not measure how much of that money stays with you. Now let us consider wealth. Wealth is not measured by how much you earn. Wealth is measured by what you own after subtracting what you owe. Every investment account, every share portfolio, every property with equity, every successful business, every pension fund, every savings account, and every valuable asset contributes to your wealth. At the same time, mortgages, loans, credit card balances, and other liabilities reduce it. A person earning a modest salary who consistently builds assets over many years may possess greater wealth than someone earning several times more but spending every penny they receive. This idea often surprises people because society tends to celebrate visible signs of success while ignoring invisible financial strength. A luxury car attracts attention. A healthy investment portfolio rarely does. Designer clothing impresses strangers. A fully funded retirement account usually remains unseen. Many financially successful people understand this distinction. They focus less on appearing wealthy and more on becoming wealthy. This explains why some millionaires continue driving reliable cars long after they can afford something far more expensive. They recognize that true wealth is built through ownership, patience, and discipline rather than constant consumption. History offers countless examples of individuals who quietly accumulated enormous fortunes without displaying extravagant lifestyles. They understood that every unnecessary purchase represented money that could have been invested to generate future income. This mindset does not encourage a life without enjoyment. Instead, it encourages intentional decisions. Financially wise people understand the difference between spending for temporary satisfaction and investing for lasting security. Now we arrive at the highest level of financial success. Financial freedom. Financial freedom goes beyond both income and wealth. Financial freedom is the point where your assets generate enough income to support the lifestyle you choose, without depending entirely on your active work. Imagine waking each morning knowing that your investments, rental properties, business profits, royalties, dividends, or other assets continue earning money whether you are working, traveling, spending time with family, or enjoying retirement. That is financial freedom. It requires building sufficient financial independence that money no longer controls your daily decisions. Some people require relatively little to achieve this freedom because they live simple, intentional lives. Others require much larger investment portfolios because their lifestyles are more expensive. The destination differs for each individual, but the principle remains the same. Your assets begin working harder than you do. This concept changes the entire purpose of earning money. Many people spend their lives exchanging time for income. Every hour worked produces another hour of pay, while there is nothing wrong with honest employment. Employment alone has natural limits. There are only so many hours available each day. Financially successful people eventually shift from relying solely on earned income towards building assets that continue producing income without requiring their constant presence. Consider an author who writes a successful book. Years after completing the manuscript, royalty payments may still arrive. A musician may continue receiving income from songs recorded decades earlier. An entrepreneur may build a company that continues generating profits under professional management. An investor may receive dividends from companies around the world while sleeping peacefully at home. In each case, money continues flowing because valuable assets have been created. This is one reason why the wealthy often focus so much attention on acquiring assets rather than possessions. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of it. Understanding this distinction transforms the way financially successful people evaluate every purchase. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they often ask, "Will this improve my financial future?" That single question changes everything. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path leads towards immediate gratification. The other leads towards long-term prosperity. Every financial decision, regardless of how small, quietly moves you a little further along one of these roads. Buying a coffee each morning may seem insignificant. So may investing the same amount every day. Yet over 20 or 30 years, those repeated decisions produce dramatically different outcomes because of the extraordinary power of consistency and compound growth. Financial freedom is rarely created by one spectacular decision. It is usually created by thousands of ordinary decisions made wisely over many years. Another misconception is that financial freedom eliminates all work. In reality, many financially free people continue working enthusiastically because they enjoy what they do. The difference is profound. They no longer work because they must. They work because they choose to. Choice is one of the greatest forms of wealth. The freedom to spend more time with family. The freedom to travel without financial anxiety. The freedom to support charitable causes. The freedom to pursue meaningful projects. The freedom to retire when ready rather than when forced. The freedom to face unexpected challenges with confidence instead of fear. These freedoms cannot be measured by salary alone. Throughout history, the world's most respected investors have consistently reminded us that wealth grows quietly. It is often invisible during its early years, just as an oak tree spends years developing strong roots before reaching impressive heights. Wealth develops beneath the surface long before others. Notice the results. Many people become discouraged because they expect immediate progress. They compare their beginning with someone else's middle. They underestimate what disciplined saving and investing can achieve over decades. Financial success rewards patience more generously than impatience. Every pound saved. Every unnecessary expense avoided. Every investment made. Every lesson learned. Every debt repaid. Every wise financial decision becomes another brick in the structure of lasting wealth. Eventually, those bricks become a solid foundation capable of supporting generations. This understanding changes the entire relationship between money and life. Income becomes the tool. Wealth becomes the foundation. Financial freedom becomes the destination. Once you understand these three stages, every financial decision gains greater meaning. Because you begin measuring success not by how much you earn today, but by how much freedom you are creating for tomorrow. The question is no longer whether you can make more money. With that foundation firmly established, we can now explore the first and perhaps most powerful habit shared by financially successful people across every generation and every nation. They always pay themselves first. Next, we review each habit one at a time.